Okay, so this was page 21. So I'm just picking and choosing. So let's say, for example, I choose to take up 3b. Now, I have a denominator. One way to do it is, as we said, we can multiply everything by 3 to get rid of our denominator. Or we can just go ahead and do the undoing. So subtract the 1.2 and then times by 3. Both method will work. Both method works the same way. Remember the trick of multiplying every term by 3, that works when there's an equal sign, because whatever you do to the left side, you can do to the right side. So it's like, yeah, I didn't change anything. If the question was just something like this, an expression t over 3 plus 1.2, I can't do that. All right, so I can't just multiply everything by 3. That would have changed the whole question. Okay, so here, let's say I just do the simple undoing. So t over 3 equal negative 1.2 minus 1.2. Negative 1.2 minus, I can't write, negative 2.2 minus 1.2. I get negative 3.4. Okay, and then to undo the 3, I would have to multiply on the other side. So t equals negative 3.4 times 3. I get negative 10.2. Oopsie. Okay. And then, again, let's say I was like Jasmine and I made a silly mistake. How can I catch my mistake before I click submit on the test? Yep.
Replace the variable with the number.
Right. So you can always check your answer. Put this back into the original question. So negative 10.2 divided by 3 plus 1.2, and I should get negative 2.2. If I don't, I know I made a mistake. Okay. Similarly for this one, there's two different ways of doing this question. I could either one, distribute it first and then solve, or I can divide the negative 2.3 on the other side and then solve. Both method works, whichever way you like. This one, a small little word problem right here. I'm trying to figure out how long this side and this side is. So let's give it a variable. Let's say x. So if this is x, that means this is x. So perimeter. How do I find the perimeter of any shape? Perimeter. Alvin. Right, add up all the sides. So this means I have 2x plus 6.2 equal 8.4. And then I will solve for x, just like that. Okay. Don't forget, since this is a word problem, what do I need at the end? What do I need? It's a word problem. Units. So that means after I solve it, x equals 1.1 centimeter. Right. Yeah. Okay. This one right here, if these are x and these are just ones, on the left side, this will be 3x plus 3. It's a balanced scale, so this is equal. And then on the right side is x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then I would move all the letters to the left, numbers to the right, and solve. Okay, let's do, let's see, is there a trickier one? Okay, let's do these ones right here. So number 8, Kevin is planning rent a car for 1 week. Company A charges $200 per week with no charge for the distance driven. So A is just this. Okay. And then on the other hand, you have company B, which charges company B. Oh, 1 second. Okay, and then company B is the $25 with the 35 cents per kilometer. Okay, so what's tricky with this question is I see the per week, and then also the per kilometer. So I see I did two different per right here. So, but the question here, define your variables and then write the equation and solve for when the cost will be the same for the two companies. So, your focus right here should be just the per kilometer. The per kilometer tells you that this is your variable, the 0.35x. Right? The $25, I think the wording is not so good. So I think the wording of the question should have just said company A charges $200 and no charge for distance driven. Right? So don't worry about that part because I think that part it makes people confused. So for company A, it's just simply cost equals 200. Okay, because it doesn't matter how far you drive. And then for company B, it would then be the C equals 0.35D for distance plus the $25 starting. Okay, and then so when do they equal? Set them equal to each other and solve for D. Yeah. 500 kilometers. Is that what you guys got? Yeah. Okay. So, since Jasmine and Betsy both says so, I think so. Let me just 175 divided by 0.35. Yep, I got 500 as well. Good. And yes, as Jasmine says, units. So 500 kilometers. By the way, if I ask, so how much will it cost? How much will it cost? If I were to add in a part D, so for driving 500 kilometers, how much will it cost for how much will it cost for company A? Margaret, how much will it cost for company A if I drive 500? 200, right? Because no matter how far I drive, it's 200. What about company B? How much will it cost for company B? Yancy? 200. Because remember, you're trying to solve for when they charge the same. Okay, so you shouldn't need to do any calculation. You should already see that it is $200. Okay, but that is a good check. When you sub it in here, you should get the $200. Okay. So these one, let's do inequality. Actually, here, these ones, where we do backwards. So if we go backwards right here, this one right here, C. So the number here is 3.5 between 3 and the 4, so 3.5. My arrow is going this way, so oops. So x is greater. So this is says simply x is greater than 3.5. Okay. So we've been practicing doing this to this, but we haven't did much from this to this. Okay, but it's the same idea. This one right here. This one is actually, let's go over this one. So x, I know it's greater or equal to, but what is that number right here? What is that number? Let's say Max. Max. Hi. So Max, do you know what this number is?
1.6 repeated.
How do you know?
Because from 1 to 2 is 1, right? And it's divided into 3 parts.
Right. So there's 3 parts. Good job. There's 3 parts. So that means this is 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. So this would be, you can say 1 and 2/3 as a fraction like this, or you can say 1.666666. Okay. Okay, lastly right here, last one. Let's do this. Actually, no. Let's do this one with the variable on both sides. Okay, the very last one right here. So moving all the letters to the left, moving all the number terms to the right. So I get 3a minus 7a less than or equal to negative 6 minus 24. So negative 4a is less than or equals to negative 30. And then when I divide by a negative, I know I have to switch the sign. So a is greater or equal to 30 divided by 4, so 15 over 2. Okay. On the test, I'll let you guys know if decimals are allowed or if you should keep it as a fraction. I would say the general rule is notice all this one, whole number, sorry, not whole number, and integers. Okay, so integers. So your answer should be in fraction form. These ones here involves decimal, so then you can have a decimal answer. Okay, so that's the general rule. Any questions on page 21 and 22 of the review? Okay, so if you are done all these, that's great. If you're not, you can finish them for homework. Tomorrow we will finish up the rest of the package, which is just page 23 with the practice test, and then we'll do a Kahoot during class, and then the test on Wednesday.